Artificial intelligence, everyone is talking about it. About revolution, automation processes, and a fully automated future. You hear about the companies multiplying their efficiency tenfold. The trends for 2025 and 2026 are clear. Digitalization, analytics, and above all, AI are supposed to revolutionize procurement completely. And then you arrive at your office on a Monday morning and open your laptop and it really hits you. An overflowing inbox, a dozen Excel lists from suppliers in every imaginable format, and you are faced with the tasks of manual comparing 20 quotes for a single tender. Does that sound familiar? You can consistently hear about the AI hype, but your team struggles daily with copy and paste, manual data entry, and the niggling fear of overlooking a mistake somewhere. The great AI revolution is promised, but your day-to-day procurement work feels more like endless spreadsheets micromanagement. Today, we are putting an end to that. In this video, I won't present you with the next hype AI tool. I show you how to finally get a grip on the one process that steals most of your time, using the tools you already have in your procurement department, and how you can pave the way for a real, meaningful digitalization with it. My name is Norm Miguel, and with the biggest AI in procurement channel, the Procurement channel, we have the most insights because on a weekly basis, we are talking towards billion-dollar companies where we talk with them about AI and already starting projects implementing AI into their procurement successfully. So if you're interested to take a look what can be done in your procurement department, then you can straight away book a call. Underneath in the description, you will find a link towards our private calendar. So coming to the first point, which is why is the status quo so expensive? Let's stick with the project I mentioned before with the scenario for a new tender, let's say for a construction or a plant engineering project. You send out your bill of quantities for 15, maybe 20 potential suppliers. And what happened next? Organized chaos breaks completely out. Supplier A sends back a PDF, supplier B has arranged the columns in their Excel sheet, and supplier C simply combines a few items, and supplier D sends their own completely different format. And your job as a procurement engineer or head of purchasing is now to piece together a clean, comparable overview from this data jungle. What does this mean in particular? It means 2 to 3 days per tender, during which highly qualified people do nothing but copy numbers from one table to another. This is not only incredibly frustrating and a waste of talent, it's also extremely expensive and risky. Manual data transfer is one of the biggest sources of errors there is. One wrong number, a misspelled decimal point, an overlooked row, and your award decision is based on junk data. And the consequence? They range from annoying renegotiations to blown budgets. At the same time, all transparency is lost. The status of quotes gets buried in individual employees' inboxes. As a manager, you have no central overview. How many tenders are currently running? Where do we stand? Who has already responded? This manual inefficiency is a huge operational risk. In an industry driven by cost pressure, a shortage of skilled labor, and shrinking margins, we simply cannot afford this anymore. And here comes the great irony. Many companies are stuck in this because they are paralyzed by the AI hype. The fear of complex, expensive tools, non-transparent costs, and endless IT projects leads to a paradoxical standstill. You know you have to do something, but the sheer flood of supposed solutions stifles any initiative. So you stick what you know, Excel and emails, as painful as it is. No wonder that recent studies show that the adoption of AI in procurement is still surprisingly low, even though the potential is extremely huge. The gap between what's technically possible and what actually arrives in the daily workflow has never been wider. And this brings us to the bridge to the solution, which is the first pragmatic step. But what if the first step didn't have to be complicated at all? What if you could automate 80 up to 90% of manual tendering process using the tools your company has already licensed and that your people already know? What if you could regain control, drastically reducing sources of errors and give your team back days of variable time without signing up for a single new software subscription? That's exactly the approach we are talking about today. It's not about chasing the next big AI trend. It's about making your fundamental process AI ready. Because the foundation of any good automation and any meaningful AI application is clean, structured data. As long as your data is syncing an email and an Excel chaos, any thought of advanced AI is doomed to fail from the start. You know the saying, garbage in and garbage out. The old principles has never been truer than it is today. The solution lies in tackling the process at its root. The way you request quotes and how they arrive. The solution is an automated workflow built on tools that are already present in most companies. Microsoft 365, meaning SharePoint, OneDrive, and yes, even Excel, but used in the right, intelligent way. Imagine it's no longer your employee adapting to chaotic supplier formats. Instead, the supplier data is forced into your standardized structure from the very beginning. You define the playing field, not your vendors. And the best part is, the process that makes this possible runs almost by itself. Okay, what does it look like in practice? Let's run through it. Just imagine a screen recording for this part. Coming to step number 1, which is the starting point. Everything begins in one central place. We just need a central folder structure, for example, a SharePoint or OneDrive. We create a new folder for our tender. Let's call it Tender 2025-10 Pumping System. In this folder, we place our bill of quantities as an Excel file. This is the only manual preparation. Step 2, the click that changes everything. The automation starts. Now comes the crucial part. Instead of attaching this Excel file to 20 emails, we use an automation workflow. This can be a simple button in Microsoft Teams or SharePoint that says Start RFQ Process. As soon as we click, a Power Automation flow kicks off in the background. It reads our central Excel file and automatically recognizes the structure, items, quantities, and units. Step 3. Standardizing is king. Uniform quotes files for everyone. The workflow now creates a separate standardized Excel file for each supplier on the distribution list. It contains all the items from our billing quantities, but the price columns are empty. The trick is, the structure is locked. The supplier can only fill in the fields instead for them. Unit price, total price, and maybe a comment field. They can't move columns, delete rows, or change formats. We give them a crystal clear form. At the same time, the workflow automatically sends an email to each supplier with a personalized link to their uploaded folder. Step 4 is the automated return, an end to email chaos. The supplier fills out their Excel file and uploads it to the source of OneDrive folder prepared for them. They don't need to log in anywhere or use any special software, just Excel and a web browser. As soon as the file is uploaded, our workflow dedicates it immediately, which leads us to step number 5, which is real-time evaluation. Final price comparison sheet. Every time a supplier submits their quote, this table populates further in real time. You can watch the quotes roll in and your price comparison builds itself. Supplier A is the cheapest for the item number 1 and supplier B for the item number 5. You see the total price and all details at the item level at a glance. Everything is clean, structured, and particularly free of transfer errors because there wasn't a single manual copy-paste step. The entire process from dispatch to the finished price comparison is completely automated. What we have achieved with this? First, the most obvious. We reduced the time request for quotes collection and evaluation from several days to a few hours. That's a potential time saving of 80 to 90% on every single tender. Just calculate that over a year or two. Second, the error rate from manual data entry drops dramatically. Since the process is digital, typos and copy and paste blunders are virtually a thing of the past. Your decisions are based on valid, clean data. But the most important is the strategic shift. Your procurement engineers are no longer wasting their time on mindless data purchasing. Their minds are free for the task they're really there for. Analyzing the price comparison, developing negotiation strategies, evaluating technical alternatives, and cultivating supplier relationships. You transform an administrative department that manages processes into a strategic partner that creates real value. Here, digitalization doesn't just relieve the burden, it elevates the entire function of procurement to a new level. AI is no longer seen as a threat, but as what it should be. A tool that gives us space for value-adding and human work. This pragmatic first step, automating the tender process with existing tools, is the foundation. Once this process is in place, once your data is clean and structured, then you can start thinking about the really exciting AI applications. Automatic price recommendations, supplier risk analysis, or detecting inconsistencies in billing of quantities. But without this foundation, all of that remains just talk and hype. If the problem I've described in this video, the chaos of emails and 20 different Excel versions, is your reality, then we should talk. If you want to see a live demonstration of what a workflow like this one can look like in your Microsoft 365 environment, book a free demo call with us. The link is in the description below. We'll show you how to regain control in 30 minutes. Don't let confusion slow you down in procurement. Use the power of automation that's already available today.